Hey every pony, Blue Wave's the name, or at least that's what I told them to put on my flyer's license. Today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite some time now, and that is, can Earth Ponies become Alicorns? I mean, think about it. Not only do they lack the ability of flight and weather manipulation, but they also lack the ability to cast any sort of magic-based spells, which according to Lore and Faust are kind of important requirements for an Alicorn to have since they're supposed to embody the traits of all three pony types. However, while they may lack 2 of the 3 physical traits of an Alicorn, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's downright impossible for them to become one. After all, if it was possible for a Pegasus and a Unicorn to become one, then surely it must be possible for an Earth Pony to become one as well, right? Well, my friends, that's just what I'm here to find out. But before I do, I just want to point out that for the sake of this video, I'm only going to be using evidence gathered from both the show and its writers, regardless of whether or not they're still part of the show staff. With that said, let's get raving. When it comes to Alicorns, not much could be said about them since very little is known about their race. Heck, not even the writers are very helpful in deciphering the lore surrounding them. Because the series is mostly centered around Twilight and her friends spreading the magic of friendship to all of Equestria, very little time could be spent developing their backstories and characters. However, despite the little amount of info we know about them, I believe that there's still enough here for us to come up with a satisfying answer. But of course, before we could get answers, we must first ask questions, and the 3 I would be focusing on in order to answer this question are as followed. 1. How are Alicorns made? 2. What sort of skills and capabilities do Earth Ponies possess? And 3. Could whatever Cadence and Twilight did to become Alicorns also be applied to an Earth Pony's ascension? So let's get this started with number 1. According to the show, there's actually 2 possible ways to become an Alicorn. The first is actually quite obvious. 2 parents, whether Alicorns or not, would have to give birth to an Alicorn offspring, like in the case of Princess Celestia, Luna, and Flurryheart. However, because this method is solely dependent on genetics, it's safe to say that it won't be of any use to us in this situation, so probably best to just toss it aside. Now, the second method requires a pony to earn their Alicorn status by accomplishing a feat so amazing they're teleported to another plane of existence where they would meet Celestia and receive either a horn or a pair of wings from a magical spark that came from inside of them, such as the case with Twilight in the Season 3 finale and Princess Cadence in the book Twilight Sparkle and the Crystal Heart spell. Both characters were just 2 ordinary ponies that were able to ascend to the next level because of something they did rather than being born into, so needless to say that this is the more logical method to use for an Earth Pony's ascension. But now that begs the question, what sort of princess-worthy deed could an Earth Pony do to become an Alicorn? Well, before we could answer that, we will need to know what their skills and capabilities are first, so let's move on to number 2. Now, what do we know about Earth Ponies? Well, from what I could find out in the show, they seem to have a very diverse range of skills and capabilities, such as possessing great physical strength and stamina, being able to manipulate their manes and tails as additional limbs, and of course, possessing the ability to grow both food and plant life a lot quicker and more efficiently than any of the other 2 pony races, as stated by Spike in the Heartwarming Eve play. All seem like pretty simple skills when you think about it. However, there is one skill that they seem to possess that stands out above the rest, which is their strange ability to not only sense when and where a future mishap is going to happen, but also where a future event will take place and what the exact location of a pony that they've never met before is in a populated city. I'm of course talking about the thing that these 3 refer to as their Pinky, Maud, and Cheesy sense. After a little more research, I found out that this, as well as their other skills, could be attributed to the fact that Earth Ponies have a special connection to the Earth unlike any other race. According to Lo and Faust, this connection to nature not only makes them very helpful, but it also makes them just as important as any of the other two pony races. Heck, maybe even more important, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I wonder if it's not too late to become an Earth Pony. Hey Keen, quick question. Would you be able to turn me into an Earth Pony?
Oh, sure I can. Just wait here, Blue. Okay, hold out your wings.
Yep, it's definitely too late to become one. So let's continue, and hope what I call my sanity returns after this. With those skills and capabilities now clear, we have but one last thing to look at before we could come to a conclusion, and that is how Cadance and Twilight became Alicorns. Knowing this will help give us an idea on what it takes to become an Alicorn, and what sort of princess-worthy deed an Earth Pony could do to reach the next level. So onward to number 3.
How my wings are a symbol of a bigger change.
Let's start off with Twilight's ascension. At the end of Season 3, Twilight became an Alicorn because she not only demonstrated 6 qualities of a true princess, but because she also showed a deep understanding of love, harmony, and friendship when she managed to fix and create a new spell out of Starsword's unfinished one, a feat that Celestia said was, quote, never done before. This accomplishment showed that Twilight had all the necessary requirements to become an Alicorn, and that she was more than ready to move on to the next stage of her life as the Princess of Friendship. Just wish I could have said the same for the fandom at the time, but I digress. Shut up. Now, Cadance, on the other hand, has a slightly different ascension story, in terms of conflict that is. See, in Twilight Sparkle and the Crystal Heart spell, Cadance was able to become an Alicorn because despite the fact that she was born a Pegasus, she managed to defeat a pony named Prismia by using the love that she had for the ponies that took care of her to reverse a love-stealing spell that Prismia was casting on her village. This then caused Prismia to change her evil ways and allowed Cadance to become an Alicorn after she was teleported to the celestial planes of existence and met Celestia. So while slightly different than Twilight's story, Cadance still showed the same level of accomplishment and understanding of what it takes to be both an Alicorn and a princess when she completed a seemingly impossible task, especially for a Pegasus. So then, what exactly does all this mean? That all it takes for a pony to become an Alicorn is to perform an amazing feat that corresponds with one or more traits of that pony's race? Well, no actually, cause none of that would make any sense. If that were the case, then pretty much every pony that has accomplished something grand would become an Alicorn. So then, how does one become an Alicorn? Well, the answer to that question can actually be found in Amy Keating Rogers' book, The Journal of the Two Sisters, in which Celestia writes an entry that reads, "They knew that Alicorns stood for everything that Equestria was founded upon, love, harmony, and friendship. And because Alicorns are a combination of Pegasi, unicorns, and Earth Ponies, they believed that we could represent the citizens of Equestria in an unbiased manner, all ponies being equal in our eyes, so they asked us to be their princesses." So what that means is that when Cadance and Twilight became Alicorns, it wasn't a matter of whether or not they had the strength or capability to become one. It was more about whether or not they had an unbiased understanding of love, harmony, and friendship that qualified them into becoming Celestia and Luna's equals.
But I thought Alicorn wings had to be earned by accomplishing some great princess-worthy deed.
Accomplishing a princess-worthy deed was mostly meant to show whether or not they were ready to move on and become the princesses of their respected fields. So to answer the question, can Earth Ponies become Alicorns? Yes they can, cause honestly, there really isn't anything that would limit them from accomplishing the same goal as Cadance and Twilight did in their stories. We've seen ponies like Pinkie Pie and Applejack prove both time and time again that they have a pretty good understanding of love, harmony, and friendship, especially when it comes to things like their strong family bonds, dedication to hard work and coming together in harmony, and their views on making new friendships with everyone around them, in my opinion, they have the potential to become Alicorns. It just depends on whether or not they're willing to work towards it. And that's my video, folks. What do you think? Can Earth Ponies become Alicorns? Leave a comment down below and be sure to come back for more of this raving lunatic. I'm Blue Wave, and I'll catch you later.